Hello everybody and welcome. I hope you're well. Well, today we're going to start a series of many videos where we're going to be talking about the spine. If I had to make one video only for the spine, it would be a very long video because we're going to talk about each vertebra of that spine. So I decided I'm going to split it, and today we're going to start with the cervicals. We're going to talk about with the first 7 vertebrae from the neck down. From the head down. And but before I start talking about those, let's talk about the spine. The spine is that structure that keeps us strong and standing. And when we have issues with that structure, when we have issues with the spine, we can advance in life, we can move forward, we can walk, and we can sometimes stand still. So the spine is just for a house, the structure for that house. But each structure for that house, even if it's a small house, if it's a big house, we need a good foundation. If you are building your own house, you need a good foundation for that house. So then that structure can resist anything. A wind like we have today here in Tenerife, or if it's a tornado, or if it's an earthquake, we need good foundations, because when something from the outside comes, that won't shake my structure. And this is what happens when somebody has problems with the spine. Most people didn't have a good foundation. They had issues already from childhood where they didn't feel that they could build this structure very good. And now that structure can be shaken in any shape or way. But the spine, when we talk about the spine, we talk about bones. And when we talk about bones, we talk about a big devaluation of ourselves, where we don't feel good enough, where we don't feel valuated. I devaluate my own self. It's not the same as saying, let's say you have anemia, or which anemia is a blood problem. So when we have blood problems, we have issues with our family. So when somebody, let's say with anemia, those people feel like they feel not part of the family. The family doesn't make me feel part of that family. We have issues with them. They make me feel devaluated. Now, when it's bone problems, it's always I don't feel valued by myself. So also, before I start also in each of the vertebrae we're talking about today, we need to understand the neck itself. So when we have problems with the neck, those days that you wake up in the morning and you say, oh my God, I have a stiff neck, we need to understand that the neck, it's between my thoughts, my head, my deepest thoughts, my beliefs also, and what I feel, my heart. So when we have a stiff neck, it's because it's a big incoherence between what I think and what I feel. I hate my job, this is what I feel. I hate my job, I need to go to my job, but I hate it. But my thoughts, my intellectual part says, yes, but you need to go because you need to pay your bills. No job is going to pay you like this. We are in the middle of this now, and you need to go to work. So it's a big incoherence of what I feel I want to do. I want to leave this job. I want to tell my boss what a terrible boss is. But at the same time, I know I need this paycheck, and that's when we have issues with our neck, when it's an incoherence between what I feel and what I think. But when we talk about the cervicals, which they are right here, where my throat is, where my vocal cords are, we are talking about conflicts with communication. So all the time, when we have issues with the cervicals, we're talking about a big devaluation about my communication, how I communicate, how I manage to communicate what I think, what I feel. So let's start with number one, which is the C1, also called atlas. The atlas is the one that it's in complete contact with the head, with my brain. So when we have issues with C1, we have issues with my deepest thoughts, with what I think, my beliefs, also with my elevated thoughts. And that goes hand to hand with religion and spirituality. What I feel, what I believe about religion, about spirituality, my thoughts about that. Those thoughts that maybe I am not able to communicate, because when we talk about the cervicals, we're talking about a big devaluation about my way of communicating those. So, but also the head has to do with that, with my father, my relationship with my father, what I think maybe about my father. So when it's a problem with C1, we also have to see how is my relationship there with my dad at that time when I had the issue with my C1. What is it? What are those thoughts I have that maybe go against what my family thinks, and I just don't feel comfortable communicating my deepest thoughts or my beliefs, my deepest belief of what I feel about life, about everything. Now, when we have issues with C2, also called the axis, now that one is related to the eyes. So when we have issues with C1, again, we have conflicts communicating what I see, or maybe I saw something that I just now not able to communicate. Or what I'm seeing, it's been very difficult for me to communicate. And we have to also remember the C2 also is a bit of a filtration to C1. So all those deepest thoughts, my beliefs, all of that I have, maybe are at the moment against that I have seen, and now I'm not able to communicate. In this cervical also, we need to talk about a subject is a bit difficult for some, but also we need to see if it wasn't a loss of a child before we had the issues with the C2. Now, when we talk about C3 is related to the chicks, and because it's related to the chicks, also it's related to my image, the image that I show the world, how the world maybe perceives me. It's important for me, and now I struggle to communicate how I actually feel myself towards the world. But also the C3, it also refers to injustice and opposition, where maybe this person has lived a very deep injustice in their life, and now they feel that the world is seeing them differently because of this, or they feel that this injustice has stained a bit their image about the world, how the world perceives them, and they are struggling to communicate how they feel towards this big injustice that they have went through. C4 is the one in the middle of those 7 vertebrae, and because it's in the middle, people with problems in C4 are always in the middle. Those are the ones that maybe at Christmas dinner, they prepare Christmas dinner. They are the ones They have to sit people. They are the ones giving people places because they don't want to mix this one with this one, because this one and this one fight all the time. People with conflicts on C4 are always the ones in the middle. They feel they have to be in the middle, but they fed up sometimes of being in the middle and not able to communicate. C5 is the one for excellence. There is communication, because this one is in communication with the vocal cords. So people with problems in C5 are people that are really struggling to communicate. These people normally feel that people don't take them serious. People feel that what they say or think, it's not being taken serious for other people. In this conflict with C5, also it's related to people that have issues talking, sometimes issues with the R or issues with other letters that they cannot pronounce, and also with stratum. People with issues with C5 normally are always feeling what I say is never taken serious. Nobody takes me serious for what I say or I express or I communicate. Also C6. C6 has very deep rooted issues with my childhood. People with issues on C6 are people that keep bringing up these issues with childhood, normally related to the mother, the role of my mother in my life. Maybe the mother that was not present in the life, or maybe that mother that wasn't present or that wasn't supporting in that issue in my childhood that happened, that I couldn't communicate, but I keep bringing it up. I just can't move forward in my life because this issue keeps digging me up. C7 is related to the thyroid, is in contact with the thyroid. So when we have issues with C7, like I said that in my video of the thyroid, we're talking about issues with my time and my speed and how I communicate this to other people. And people with conflicts in the C7, they feel the people maybe are taking their time, they're being asked to speed up in life or slow down, and they are not able to communicate this. And this is when they have issues with C7, when is issues with speed and time, my speed, my time, and people are asking me for more maybe, but I am not able to communicate. When we have a hernia in any of these vertebrae, we always have an issue with pressure and collapse. I feel collapsed by these two situations. I feel pressure by these two situations. So when we have a hernia, let's say between C4 and C5, like we said, C5, it has to do with how I communicate. This is the one for excellence of how I communicate and my word is not taken serious. And C4 is the one that is always in the middle, the one that has to keep peace in the family. So, but this person with a hernia between C4 and C5 may feel that they always have to be in the middle, and they have to keep the peace in the family, but their word is never taken serious, and they feel that their word is not valued in that family when they're trying the best just to keep the family in peace. So, I hope this video has helped you to understand about the cervicals and also about the spine, the hernias, and all of this. Until next video, that we're gonna be talking about the thoracic vertebrae or the dorsals, as some other people may call it. I hope this video has helped you, and until next time, take care and bye-bye.